my name is Ta'Neile Simmons, and I am the Bold Maven magazine cover gem for June 2024.
What comes to mind when you think of gemstones?
When I think of gemstones, I think of diamonds, rubies, and sapphires, simply because they go under such immense pressure in order to be created. And I relate so heavily to that. There's often times where life puts you under so much pressure, but at the end of the day, you come out on the other side more beautiful than you started.
How would your friends describe you?
My friends would describe me as bubbly, loving, overly accommodating sometimes, and really hardworking because I will go out of my way to make way for someone else.
What do you do?
I am Miss North Buckhead. I'm a data scientist, I'm a model, and a mentor.
What schools did you attend?
I went to the University of Kentucky, go Cats. I obtained dual degrees there, one in marketing and one in merchandising. I also attended the University of Washington, where I received my certification in data science. And I also went to Florence University of the Arts, where I learned fashion marketing.
How did you get into your profession?
I got into my profession through my passion for fashion. Initially, I thought I wanted to be a fashion designer, but I quickly realized that I was way better at numbers and decided to go into fashion merchandising. Some of the most impressive fashion merchants or buyers that I knew their way around numbers and being able to be very meticulous about their customer and understanding and analyzing and then bringing stories from that. And I also just love the idea of being able to style an entire city. So that's how I dove into the data science and fashion merchandising aspect. As far as modeling goes, that passion came from every single day after school. I used to run home and watch America's Next Top Model, and Tyra Banks is probably the sole reason for me starting my modeling journey. But I got into that. I was contacted by a modeling agency inside of a mall. And from the rest is kind of history after that. I started out freelancing and went back and forth through getting my own work and the agency getting me work as well.
What led you to enter into pageantry?
So, what got me into pageantry, of course, I love to see the beautiful women, but I through a friend of mine, Elle, I saw her go through the pageant process and saw her go from being a journalist to becoming a full-time model. My all-time goal has always been to be a full-time model for at least 1 to 2 years in my life. And to see her go through that transition and to also have her as one of my friends tell me myself that I should be involved in pageantry, it was something that I knew that I should think about, but I wasn't 100% sold on it yet. When I moved to Atlanta, I had a couple other people approach me whenever I entered into one of the rooms. They were like, "Have you ever considered pageantry?" And to be honest with you, I've always been a model. I was like, "No, I'm a model, not a pageant girl." But after one or two, maybe five people mentioning it to me, I thought I would go ahead and give it a try. And so far, I've absolutely loved the journey. I've learned so much about myself. I've realized that being a model is a great thing to be, but being a pageant girl is so much more simply because I get to showcase myself and who I truly am outside of just displaying clothing or being sort of like a hanger to just display someone else's art, but I get to choose what I want to bring to light. So that's why I decided to get into pageantry.
Why are you competing in the Miss Georgia USA pageant?
I'm competing in the Miss Georgia USA pageant because I would like to spread awareness around etiquette and veteran disability resource awareness. My father was a Navy veteran and he passed away from a service-related injury, and he did not receive his benefits until the day that he passed away. So it's my goal during my reign of becoming Miss Georgia USA to spread awareness about the resources and the tools that are available to them, our veterans, the ones that have put their life on the line for our well-being, and just to make sure that no one else has to go through the things that my family had to go through. If I could just help one person, I've done my job. And outside of that, I feel like that's exactly the purpose that God has put me on this earth for.
Can you tell us about a woman in your life who inspires you?
Yes, of course. Um, I know this is going to sound cliche, but my mother has to be the woman that inspires me the most. I say this because she has been such a trailblazer in my life and just showing me that no matter what storms, what trials, what tribulations that we may face, she always faced them with a smile. She always came out on the other side, and it was always rooted in her faith and just knowing that she's going to get through it. She's been through worse and she's going to get through it again. And I have been a true recipient of her love.
What do you consider to be some of your biggest accomplishments so far?
One of my biggest accomplishments would have to be when I woke up on my 16th birthday. A little backstory. When I woke up on my 16th birthday, I looked out the window and was expecting to see a car with a bow on top of it as my birthday gift. But lo and behold, that did not happen for me. I'd watched way too much Sweet 16 growing up and seeing the car as the birthday gift. So when I found out that my parents weren't getting me a car for my birthday, I decided to spend all summer working 3 jobs in order to save up to be able to purchase myself a car. At the end of that summer, I was actually able to accomplish that goal and purchase my car outright. And my parents looked at me like, wow, this girl was really serious about getting herself a car. And that was probably one of the most, um, I don't know, probably one of the most eye-opening experiences that I had. It helped me realize you can't always count on other people to get something that you want. You have to work hard for it. And then when you get it yourself, it's so much more rewarding to get it that way. The second greatest accomplishment that I've ever had happen to me would have to be a time where I surprised my mom with a trip to Paris and London. My mom had never left the country before that. It was during my internship in Paris for a luxury t-shirt company, and I was able to first travel her to London. I wanted her to start there because it was an English-speaking country, and even though she was very outside of her element, it was a little more comforting knowing that she could communicate with everyone. And then right after that, we flew over to Paris, which is where I was working. And the most rewarding part of the trip was we were walking down the Champs-Élysées, and she stopped, stood, and stared at the arc for I don't know how long, but she looked at me and was like, I used to sing about this arc at every choir class when I was a kid. And she just stood there looking in awe. And from that point forward, I knew that my family and having and opening up opportunities to my family for things as simple as travel, right, was probably one of the most rewarding experiences for me.
Last question. What would you tell a 12-year-old you?
You are powerful beyond measure. There is a big, big world out there. Go explore it. And most recently, I would say that don't wait for opportunities to come to you, create them. You can learn more and read more about my story on theboldmaven.com. Make sure that you subscribe to the Bold Maven newsletter so you can gain access to their digital magazine. Bye.